First video on my channel, and unfortunately if you guys saw that game last night against the Jazz, boy was it bad. Most people, they say like the good things and then the bad things. I'm gonna just jump right into it and start off with the negatives here, because there was a lot from last night's game. Let's just break it down real quick. The first thing, it's not really a bad thing, it was definitely the scariest thing, was Jamal Murray. When I guess it was an ankle injury, I guess that's what happened. He was going around a screen and landed on the screener's foot. Dude, when I saw him hobbling, I was terrified. I thank God that he came back. He said to get it retaped, all that good shit, because that was terrifying for me. So thank God Murray's all right. Thank God he's okay, because my heart dropped again, dude. Like when he first injured his ACL, bro, my heart dropped. This time I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be a knee injury or the nagging hamstring injury that he had during the preseason, but it wasn't. It was an ankle, easily taped up. I'm hoping it'll be fine, so thank God for that. Second thing was turnovers, man, and our turnovers killed us. There was one, I think it was Davon Reed. I'm gonna have the replays shown on the screen right now. There was one by Davon Reed that he tried to throw it to DeAndre. I think it was Davon Reed. I don't have the video clip in front of me. You'll see it right here. But he was trying to pass it to DeAndre Jordan, and there are two Utah Jazz players on both sides of DeAndre Jordan. I don't know what he was thinking to pass it to DeAndre right there, but that was just a terrible decision. A lot of turnovers, sloppy play. I'm hoping it's just, rusty. They're, trying to get used to each other, and it'll fix itself throughout the season. But dude, those turnovers were just miserable. Next thing, Vanderbilt. Dude, that guy was tearing us up. That guy was getting so many rebounds, offensive rebounds. It was miserable. I didn't even know who Vanderbilt was really at the beginning, but goddamn, they said his name so many times throughout the game that I know who he is now, because I think they gave a stat at halftime saying that Vanderbilt had more, I don't know if it was offensive rebounds or just rebounds in general, but he had more rebounds than the entire Nuggets team by himself. And that's just, dude, he was out hustling Denver on so many rebounds. It was absurd. It was ridiculous. Also, Utah's three-pointers. Bro, they were shooting crazy amounts of three-pointers, and they were actually making an efficient clip of them. It was ridiculous. I remember watching, and I'm like, they can't keep this up throughout the entire game. Which they didn't really. They kind of cooled off in the second half, but the damage was already done, man. They were up by like 20 some points at halftime. It was miserable. Everyone was hitting three-pointers. I don't know if this is just a lack of Denver's perimeter defense, or if that's just Utah, they had a good night. I'm not too sure, but those three-pointers, man, they would not stop falling. It was crazy. Another thing that kind of irritated me was the amount of offensive, it wasn't even offensive, just rebounds in general that the Nuggets could not grab. Like, I don't know what was going on with Bruce Brown for a minute, because he was basically just tapping the ball. He wasn't actually trying to collect it. Like, I don't know what was going on, but there was a lot of rebounds that the Nuggets could have had. They just didn't secure the ball. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. They just, for some reason, like that oil on their hands, I don't know what it was, but they cannot grab onto the ball, which led to the Jazz getting the ball and getting second chance points and all that other stuff. It was just, I don't understand what was going on with that. I'm kind of confused. Another thing that scares me is MPJ's ball handling. Like, his shooting's fine. He's starting to get a little bit better on defense. Like, I could see it. He's doing a lot better. He had a block that was it was amazing. But his ball handling is just, dude, it scares me whenever he puts the ball on the floor. It's like he doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know what to do. Like, he needs to work on the handles a bit more, and that'll translate to him being basically a better scorer, because he can get to wherever he wants to and score. But whenever he puts the ball on the floor, it just scares me. The last thing that I also want to kind of go over, the negative side at least, is Bones. Dude, I don't know what was going on with him, but he didn't do all that great. He had some points. He honestly didn't really do that great. But I noticed whenever the Jazz had the ball, Colin Sexton, and there was another guy, I forgot his name, but there was another guy, it was like Thornton something, I don't know, but they attacked Bones relentlessly. They went at him every single time they got the ball. And it's kind of alarming because, yeah, Bones, even the announcer said that Bones is going to have to learn how to stand in front of him because they were taking him every single time. And at a certain point, you're just like, what are you going to do to fix this, Bones? Because those guys just took him like every single time they got the ball. I can't repeat that enough. Like, it was kind of embarrassing. Overall, it just looked like the Nuggets were not ready. It looked like they were not prepared. They just kind of played lazily compared to Utah. If you're a Jazz fan, congrats, dude. Your guys' team, I know it's a rebuilding team right now because you traded away Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, but damn, bro, you guys hustled like crazy. I think that's mostly what did it. You guys had a lot of hustle players that actually wanted to get out and play and just, you know, make moves, and Denver just did not want to do that. I don't know what Denver was like. It's kind of like they saw the schedule, like, oh, the Jazz, that'll be an easy game, we don't have to play that hard. And no, dude, the Jazz came out firing. It was ridiculous. Like, Denver played so lackluster, but that's typically Denver. They played down to their skill level, but they can't do that. As you can see, the Jazz blew them out. It was embarrassing, man. Like, Denver needs to like play like they're an NBA team. Like, no matter who they're playing against, that's why I'm afraid of them in the playoffs, is because they just, bro, like, you got to play every game like how the Jazz played, man. That hustle, and it was impressive. Congrats to the Jazz fans for that, because it was honestly, it was amazing to watch that. Terrible for Nuggets fans like me, because our team didn't do anything. But, you know, Jazz, you know, good job on that one. Overall, just the Nuggets bench did not cut it today at all. Or last night, sorry. They did not cut it at all. Like, they did terrible. I saw an infograph. I'll try to find it, show it on the screen right now. But it was just like they were getting outscored by a ridiculous, it was like 9 to like, or 11 to like 30 something bench points. It was ridiculous. Like, the Nuggets bench did not come through. So, like, you know, Bones, Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, Devon Reed, they just, bro, they did not show up, and it was embarrassing. It was not good. Some of the positives, though, of the Nuggets game is the defense actually wasn't bad with the starters. Their defense was all in all wasn't that bad. If Utah wasn't hitting at the clip that they were hitting at, which was like a ridiculous clip, it was like 50% or 50-some% from 3-point range. It was crazy. But if they weren't hitting at that clip, Denver actually wasn't doing too bad. KCP, he did pretty good on the defensive end. Offensive end, terrible. I think he only had 2 points. But on the defensive end, he actually did really good. He had a lot of steals, a lot of turnovers, a lot of tip balls. He actually did really well on the defensive end. The KCP did really well. Jamal Murray, I'm hoping that it's just rust right now. I'm assuming it is. It's his first, you know, actual NBA game, actual season game in like a year and a half, since he injured in like April of 2020. I think it was 2020. 2022, 2021. So when he injured in April 2021, or no, in 2020, I think that's what it was. Anyway, back when he injured it, like, I'm hoping that's just rust, because it should be rust. I'm not too worried about the Jamal Murray thing. He'll get back to where he's at. I'm really not too worried about it. He's Jamal Murray. Aaron Gordon, honestly, I feel like he's one of the unsung heroes of this team. Like, there's a lot of people that say like Aaron Gordon doesn't really do much, but dude, for me, he does a lot. Like, he's that type that, like, he cuts when he needs to cut. He's throwing down dunks, doing some steals. Like, Aaron Gordon is creeping up to being one of my favorite players on this team. I don't think he gets enough praise for what he does, but what he does do, he does it really well. And I think he played pretty well tonight. So there's that for him. Jokic, he's Jokic. Did amazing. There's nothing else to say. He's MVP caliber. He won MVP. So he's MVP, doing great. Just nothing else to say. MPJ, honestly, he didn't do too bad. The defensive end was not as bad as I remember. If he could just work on the ball handling, like I said, he's honestly not doing too bad. He went for some dive balls that I noticed that I was kind of scared. I'm like, he's gonna hurt his back, but he didn't. So, you know, kudos to that one, because that's just the hustle plays. I like to see that. He also had that block, which I know that wasn't a foul. If you play basketball, you know that was not a foul. That was all ball. It was a clean play. I don't care what you say. That was that was a clean block. That was that dude. I yelled at the TV when the ref called that a foul. I was like, that was one of the cleanest blocks I've ever seen him do. So that was ridiculous. But other than that, he did pretty well. He shot pretty well. You know, like I said, just the ball handling. Just he's working on the ball handling. Maybe the IQ. He had some weird turnovers throughout the game. But yeah, other than that, it wasn't too bad. Overall, terrible game. But it's the first game of the season. Try not to worry. Everyone is just, you know, getting back in the groove. MPJ's getting back in the groove. Murray's getting back in the groove. KCP, Bruce Brown are learning the rotations and all that. So overall, I'm hoping it'll take a little bit of time, not too much time. They play the Warriors literally tomorrow. So I'm hoping that it just kind of picks up and it clicks. Everything will go well. You could tell they kind of just you could tell they didn't really click sometimes. I'm hoping that'll just, you know, resolve itself later. I'm trying not to stress too much, but being beat by a rebuilding team by 20 some points is not a good look. But like I said, I'm trying not to stress too much. Try not to worry. It's only the first game of the season. It's just, if this is how it's going to be the rest of the season, it's going to be pretty alarming. But I don't think it is. I'm expecting everyone to just kind of, you know, figure things out. The professionals. And it's going to be it for me, guys. Go Denver.